And a report on the state of social protection in Kenya reveals that the bulk of the vulnerable population in the country are yet to benefit from the government's social protection coverage, dubbed Progressive Pathway Towards Universal Social Protection System in Kenya. The Joint Social Development Goals report recommends the expansion of social protection as well as strengthening of linkages between social protection, agriculture, and livelihood opportunities.
With the Constitution guaranteeing economic, social and cultural rights for all Kenyans, the government has implemented a raft of measures meant to cushion vulnerable groups from economic turbulence. A report on the state of social protection in the country, dubbed a Progressive Pathway Towards Universal Social Protection System in Kenya, however, reveals that 78% of vulnerable persons have been excluded from the government's social protection coverage, with only 12% of households benefiting from social protection. And despite the country expanding the coverage of its national cash transfer to reach 1.3 million households in 2019, 12% of Kenyans remain food insecure. Labour and Social Protection Cabinet Secretary Simon Chelugui saying that the government remains committed to ensure coverage of those excluded while improving the delivery and support of the 22% already covered by government intervention.
The measure of government and leadership of the country is not on the big programs, the projects, the airports, the railways. It is the support and the funding and the cushioning of the poor and vulnerable that truly measures and connects government with the people. It gives us a lot of satisfactions every time.
Chelugui says the joint report will be instrumental in mobilizing increased budgetary allocations to enhance cross-sectoral interventions that will include scaling up appropriate gender-sensitive social protection policies and programs in rural areas.
In Nairobi and all our urban areas, we have not seen any social unrest because of these interventions that we are doing as a government. Elsewhere, other countries, we've seen how this wrong management of this crisis has led to people moving out of estates to streets and to shops, but we have been able to control.
The assurance coming amid calls for more public-private sector partnerships to support vulnerable groups, especially during the coronavirus pandemic.
We note that this joint program will contribute and support the government of Kenya to continue moving away from poverty-targeted social protection, which exclude very many vulnerable people, towards a more inclusive and universal approach. COVID-19 has taught us that every person is at risk of falling into poverty at some point in life, and therefore social protection can protect all people from the risk of poverty in all its dimensions. Experience and available literature has shown that investing in
the SDG joint program aims to support the government to operationalize universal social protection through generation of evidence, advocacy and policy, and development of specific plans and financing strategies to make social protection for all Kenyans a reality. Yusuf Farah, Channel 1 News.